You are the founder of Spanx, which has blown up. It's like one of the biggest companies in the world, it seems like now, right? And you're
There's a lot of butts.
right.
There's
Yeah.
a lot of butts out there.
And I know you've shared how it all started, but for those that don't know Spanx, can you share how it all started so we have an understanding of what it is and how you got into it?
Absolutely. It actually started with my own butt because I couldn't figure out what to wear under white pants. And I'm sure you've had this problem
All
when
the
you're
time.
getting dressed.
All the time.
So what ended up happening was there was, our undergarment options were no good. There was underwear that left a panty line, and then there was the girdle that was way too thick and heavy. And so then they came out with the thong, which just put underwear exactly where we've been trying to get it out of.
Right.
So that did not
Wedgie.
help at all.
Yeah.
And so Spanx was born out of just being a frustrated consumer. I wanted to wear my clothes. I wanted a smooth canvas. I didn't want to see lines or any kind of things going on underneath. So by taking the hosiery material, which was meant to be seen on the leg until Spanx sort of looked at it with a different lens and said, no, I want the hosiery material to actually be what I create the undergarment out of. And it was wild trying to convince the hosiery manufacturers to help me make this product with that in mind, because for so many years they'd been using the material to be seen on the leg.
Right.
And I said, no, it's the perfect material to create the perfect canvas for women under our clothes. And it opened up my wardrobe. It opened up so many other women's wardrobe. We could start wearing colors we didn't feel comfortable wearing. And the models get airbrushed. We get Spanx.
There you go. There you go. I love it.
So anyway, I went into the manufacturing plants and they asked me the same three questions. And you are, let's say, Sara Blakely, and you're with
myself.
Sara Blakely, and you're financially backed by, and I was like, Sara Blakely. So you can imagine how those went. It was like, well, have a nice day, honey, and good luck.
Yeah.
And about a few weeks after I made all those rounds, I got a call from a guy in North Carolina who had took pity on me and said, Sara, I've decided to make your crazy idea.
Wow.
And when I asked him why he had the change of heart, he said, I have 3 daughters.
Wow.
Yeah, so he ran the idea by them, and they're like, Dad, that sounds interesting. You got to give that girl a chance.
Amazing. So he called you back. You didn't follow up with these people.
Oh, yeah, I was following up, but
Gotcha.
to no avail.
But he followed up and said,
yeah,
we'll give it a shot.
Yes.
We'll make this. So what was the next step? Was he just making a sample for you or testing different models or sizes or?
Yeah, so it just set up to make the garment. While I was making it with his manufacturing plant, I was also wanting to patent the idea, and I was also trying to come up with the name for the invention. So I was doing those 3 things simultaneously, driving up on the weekends and working with Ted in the back of the manufacturing plant that I'd become very close with. And
driving to North Carolina from Florida.
No, from Atlanta. I was living in Atlanta at the time.
What's that, about 8-hour drive, 6-hour drive?
About 4.5, 5.
Oh, it's not bad. Okay.
Yeah, it's not bad. And so anyway, Ted became my buddy, and I went to get it patented, but all the patent lawyers wanted between $3,000 and $5,000, and I had $5,000 set aside to do this.
That's it, yeah.
So I wrote my own patent. I went to Barnes & Noble.
No way.
And I bought a book called Patents and Trademarks, and I wrote the patent, and then I called one of the patent lawyers that was the nicest to me and said, please, will you write the claims over the weekend for a discounted price? I've done all the other rest of the patent.
Yeah, the legwork you'd done.
Yeah.
You just kind of needed to button it up and
you needed to do the legal part. And so he did. He actually admitted to me that when I came to visit him, he thought I'd been sent by Candid Camera. Which, let me put it in your words.
I know Candid Camera. I know.
He thought he was being punked.
Of course. Of course. Wow.
Yeah, he thought he was being punked, okay? And he thought...
Where's Ashton? Where's Ashton?
Yeah, exactly. He thought that his friends were playing a joke on him.
No way.
Yeah, he goes...
Who's this girl?
He goes, Sara, I mean, like, you're not the typical person who walks in the door saying, I've got a product and I want to patent it.
Wow.
So anyway, he did that. Then at the same time, I'm trying to think of the name. I had horrible names written on scrap pieces of paper all over the place, in my apartment, in my car, in rental cars, on the back of like Avis agreements. And you want to hear how bad the runner-up name to Spanx was?
Yeah.
Open-toed Delilahs.
No way.
Yes.
I cannot believe that was even an option.
It was a runner-up. Like, how bad is that?
Open-toed Delilahs?
I so wouldn't be sitting here with you right now if I named it that.
That is the horrible. Yeah,
it's so bad.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
So anyway, okay. So
what does Spanx stand for?
Well, it's all about the butt. and it makes your mind wander a little bit. Nobody ever forgets it. I had no money to advertise. It was risky. It was fun. At the time, listen, now it's become a household name. I got the patent the first try, and I got the trademark name Spanx.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So it didn't seem like there was that many challenges once you submitted it or whatever. You kind of got the things you needed in place. You got the orders in. Was there a lot of challenges after that? Once you got the patent, the trademark?
That was a really hard part. It's just
Gotcha.
I heard the word no for 2 years.
Oh,
yeah, all
okay.
the manufacturers, nobody thought it was a good idea.
Wow.
And also when you're just yourself trying to break into an industry like you mentioned, the manufacturers, it's not really in their best interest to slow down machines or try to give a girl with a couple grand a chance.
Unless you're going to give them a bunch of money for a big order of something.
Yeah,
It's like, what's the point?
Right.
Wow.
So that was the hard part. And then once I had it, I cold called Neiman Marcus, and that was the first account I called on.
Did you get it?
Yes.
Well, you were great at sales,
Well,
so
listen,
you could sell it.
I was so excited. It was my moment. I flew to Dallas. I called them and said, if you give me 10 minutes of your time, I'll come and meet with you. And she said, all right.
And this is a buyer?
Yep, the buyer. I first called the Atlanta store. They're like, girl, we can't help you. We have a buying office. I'm like, well, where is that? Give me their number.
Wow.
And I went in, and halfway through my pitch, I could tell I was losing her. So I said, you know what? Will you please come to the bathroom with me? And she was like so buttoned up. I mean, Neiman Marcus, like her pen matched her belt that matched her shoes. And she was like, what?
And you're like, what am I going to do in the bathroom?
I know. I was like, just follow me to the bathroom and show you my own panty line. And I went in the stall with Spanx in my pants and without it in my pants. And she was like, oh, I totally get it. It's awesome. And I'm going to put it in 7 stores.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, just like that.
Just like that. It was so unbelievable. I was so nervous. And then, of course, I had to call Sam. I'm like, in the rental car on the way back to the airport, I called the owner of the manufacturing plant. I'm like, Sam, it's Sarah. I need more. I just landed Neiman Marcus. And he's like, what? He was in shock. He goes, Sarah, I thought you were going to give these away as birthday presents for like years. And I said, no, Neiman Marcus just bought it and I need more. And he patched me through to Ted. He goes, okay, you need to talk to Ted.
Okay.
So Ted comes back in. He's on the phone. And I go, Ted, I need more. And he goes, I just landed Neiman Marcus. He goes, well, that's great, but what you can do about the crotches?
The crotches?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I said. I go, what? Don't they come with crotches? We've been making them with crotches. He goes, well, yeah, but we only got one crotch machine. It's being used by somebody else.
No way.
Yeah.
So what do you do then?
So I just landed Neiman Marcus and I have no crotches.
Oh my gosh.
I don't
you got
know
a hole in your crotches?
I don't know where to go for a crotch. Like,
I don't know.
Where do you go? I actually looked in the yellow pages.
Crotch making machines?
Yeah, I looked up crotch.
Crotch machine.
I looked up
I
crotch.
don't even know how you spell crotch.
Okay, listen. This is what I learned. I'm going to teach you something. Okay, so I didn't know this.
What's Yellow Pages again?
Yeah. Oh my God.
I'm just kidding.
It's a big book. It's yellow.
Of course.
It's what we used to look things
Of
up.
course.
Hilarious. And what's Instagram? Oh yeah.
You just got on
teach
it.
me. Okay, I just joined it 7 days ago. All right. So where was? Oh, crotch.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Crotch machine.
So,
Looked it up.
Yeah. So anyway, in the yellow pages, it's not under crotch. So I learned there's a fancy word for crotch named gusset.
Gusset?
Yes.
What?
Gusset.
Never even heard that word.
So I started calling gusset companies. They were like FedExing me crotches from all over. My roommate would come home and be like, you got another crotch in the mail. And then I ended up finding a man by the name of Gene Bobo that worked for a crotch company just 20 minutes north of where I lived in Atlanta. And he saved the day. And they made the crotches. And then I could deliver Neiman Marcus.
So you had the leggings. They made the crotches and then you sewed them together. Is that how it works?
Yes. Apparently. Yes.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So then you had enough. How many did you print the first time?
3,000.
3,000.
3,000 pair of the first Spanx.
One SKU, right? Or
yes, one
SKU.
$20, one SKU.
3 sizes or
like four.
Four
sizes. Yep.
Wow.
And
3,000 of them.
yes, and that's what Neiman's ordered. And then I sent them to they sent them to the 7 stores. I had no packing and shipping department, so the semi trucks were pulling up to my apartment in Atlanta, and I was shipping them myself to Neiman's.
This is amazing.
And then I called every friend I had in those 7 cities, like people I hadn't talked to in 20 years.
So, hey, go buy a few of these. Go take your girlfriends there.
Hi, Christina. Remember me? I used to sit next to you all the time in grade school. Will you please go buy this product called Spanx? I literally called them and I said, and I'll mail you a check. So I paid all my friends and friends of friends to go buy the product.
That is brilliant,
And
actually,
I said,
to get some movement.
yeah, I said, go in. I gave him a whole script. I'm like, go in and say, I've been looking for this all my life. I can't believe it's here, and create all this excitement.
This is amazing.
And then, of course, a week later, I talked to the Neiman's buyer, and she's like, Sarah, we are blowing out. I'm like, you don't say.
No way.
Meanwhile, I was buying them all.
That's brilliant.
You have to.
Wow.
You have to.
Created
You have
incredible
to
momentum.
ensure your own success.
Absolutely.
So then once I started running out of money, Oprah called and put it on as her favorite product of the year.
How long was that for? Until the time was in Neiman Marcus to Oprah calling?
Like a month.
It just happened that quick?
A month or a month and a half.
How did she even hear about it in a month and a
I
half?
sent it to her in a gift basket. And her Andre, who dresses her, put it in her dressing room, and she put them on and has basically worn them every day since.
Where would you be if Oprah didn't pick it up within the first couple months? Like if you had a year of trying to do this on your own, do you think you'd have got other press, or you'd have got the money to build it? Okay.
I do, because I was so determined. I mean, as soon as I got
committed.
the order, I was so committed.
You weren't just interested in seeing if this worked. You were committed and doing whatever it takes.
In it to win it. You have to remember, right? I was selling fax machines door to door, being thrown out of buildings. I had no option in my mind. I was like, I am scripting a new life for myself. And
was this movie about you that came out a year ago?
Joy.
Yeah, is that about you?
My dad called me and goes, Sarah, I just saw a movie. It's basically your life except for the dysfunctional family part.
Yeah, right.
I was like, yeah, right, Dad. Yeah, okay, sure. Yeah, but I could really relate to her.
I'm sure. It was
all the hustle and yeah.
That's crazy.
But when I got Neiman Marcus, I think a lot of people think that's when you have arrived.
No.
That's when I double timed. I mean, I got on a plane and was gone for 2 years straight. And I went to every department store in the country that sold Spanx, every Neiman Saks, Nordstrom, and Bloomingdale's. And I would go before the store opened and do an all-store rally and tell them what my product was, explain it to them, do a demo, give out free product, and then stand there in the department for 8 hours a day and tell customers what it was, because I didn't have any money to advertise. I was selling it for them, but what I didn't realize I was doing was I was building a sales force not on my payroll, because all these people started to become so ambassadors, and they were rooting for me and they loved the product. And so that was a really important part of the formula. And then I learned what my next products were going to be, because I was standing right there with customers and
let's say what they need, what their challenge is. I can't do this, blah,
They told me what they wanted.
Amazing.
Yeah.
This is unbelievable. You were like willing to do whatever it takes, above and beyond.
Totally.
So when Oprah had you on, or she didn't have you on, she had the product on. You didn't go on, right?
I didn't go on, but they called and they said, Sarah, it's her favorite product of the thing. She doesn't have people on this, but she loves that you're taking on this billion-dollar industry, and she wants to film you and kind of just show a little bit of B-roll. So they landed in Atlanta and came to my apartment, and they had all this official stuff, and they go, we discussed on the plane, we want to film you in your headquarters.
Oh my gosh. Your headquarters is like my living room.
Yeah, I'm like, you're here. I don't, And then they wanted to film me having a staff meeting, and I had no staff. So I called Connie.
Did you go to the factory and you're like,
I
called up Sam and.
I called Connie that I had met at Mailboxes, etc., because she'd been FedExing pantyhose for me. And she left work and came with three other friends of mine, and that was my staff meeting on the Oprah show.
Amazing. What did the sales do after that?
It was amazing. I mean, I went from, when I saw somebody order that wasn't my mom's friend, I was dancing around my apartment, and then to all of a sudden 30,000 orders. Like, it was just.
Was this online at the time?
Yes. It was on Spanx.com.
Wow.
Yeah.
30,000 came in. And what type of time frame?
Pretty quickly.
Like a week?
Yeah.
30,000 orders.
Like in a week or two. Yeah, it was crazy. I was up all night, every night, shipping. I had friends coming over helping me pack and ship them. And this is how clueless I was. I was sending everybody's product in regular mail. So then I started getting all these emails and phone calls from people going, my product never showed up and I didn't have any way to track it. I was like, okay. I guess they're supposed to be tracking with this. So
FedEx and everything else. Yeah, wow.
So then that's how I did the whole thing. I stumbled through it. I always tell people what you don't know can be your greatest asset if you let it, because it ensures you're going to do it differently.
Absolutely.
And when I landed Neiman Marcus, all these people came up to me and said, I have been doing this for 7 years, 10 years, 5 years. How did you land Neiman Marcus? And I said, I called them. And they just looked at me and I was like, why? What do you do? They're like, well, I go to trade shows and I set up my booth and I'm waiting for the Neiman Marcus buyer to come by. And we've been doing it every year for 7 years. I didn't even know there were trade shows.
Wow.
So sometimes just not knowing how it's supposed to be done. You have to have the courage, though, to say, even though I wasn't trained in this, because a lot of people think, well, I didn't go to school for this, so how could I possibly know? But it's inside of you.
Yeah. And you were willing to be creative and risk, failure in a way that most people aren't. You put yourself out there in a major way, and you said, hey, come to the bathroom with me.
Right.
And I'm not going to do anything weird.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's an incredible story.
My dad used to encourage me to fail.
Mm.
So at the dinner table growing up, he would ask my brother and me what we failed at that week.
Wow.
And if we didn't have something to tell him, he'd be disappointed. And I vividly remember being a little girl and saying, I tried out for this, Dad, and I was horrible. And he would high five me. And he'd go, way to go.
Wow.
So he was reframing my definition of failure. So failure for me became about not trying, not the outcome.
What was the biggest lesson he taught you? Was that it? Or?
Yeah, for sure.
And what about your mom? What's the biggest lesson she taught you?
My mom is so supportive. She's the most lovely, sweetest person I've ever met in my life. And she's an artist. And she's super creative. So I like to think and hope that she passed on a little bit of the creative side to me.
And who would you say is more influential to you?
Oh, both.
Yeah.
It was such a balance.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got really good. My family's very supportive.
That's amazing. So, some people I hear about when they get these big orders or a lot of press for something, they're not set up or ready to take it on, and it actually kills the company because they don't have the funds to buy the product or the goods.
Yeah.
But for you, that didn't happen. You were set up. You were good to go. Or
well, it was close. I mean, I was in my apartment, and I had $5,000 that I'd started it with. So, and I stayed self-funded from the start. I still own 100% of Spanx. I never borrowed any money or went outside of.
And how many employees do you have now?
Over 200.
200.
Yeah.
And based in Atlanta or New York?
Atlanta.
Based in Atlanta. It's amazing.
The work-life balance thing is I am a work in progress. That's I don't have any wonderful advice to dispense.
Is that what you say?
I wish that I did, but I don't. But I will say the one thing that I feel like has helped me the most is to be kind to myself. So I realized that as a mother, when I became a mom, I spent a lot of mental energy beating myself up, like feeling so guilty. And when I was working, I was beating myself up that I wasn't with the kids, and mentally. And when I was with the kids, I was beating myself up with that. So I think a lot of mothers were our own worst enemy. And when I really stopped and said, I don't know how to juggle all this. Some days I feel like I'm doing it right, and some days I feel like I just want to cry. At least I made that change, and it was a huge change for me. I just catch myself when I start doing that to myself, and I change it to kindness and forgiveness.
As opposed to beating yourself up.
Yeah, I'm just like, okay, it's all right.
Yeah.
And then that helps me stay more present also.
Is there a woman or a mother that you really admire, that you see that is doing it gracefully as well, that is a good model for you? Or
well,
one of your friends or moms out there?
Yeah. I think any working mom. I mean, when I see working moms, any mom really, honestly, stay-at-home moms. I mean, it's like it's a full-time job no matter how you slice it. It's really impressive. I think women are really incredible.
You are.
Yeah.
I don't know how you guys do it.
I like to hire moms because I know that they are unbelievable at multitasking and getting multiple things done. And so the whole journey of Spanx, I really took a feminine approach to it. I mean, I didn't know business. I'd never taken a business class. I didn't have a business plan. I didn't go out and raise VC. So I trusted my gut. I stuck with intuition. I, just did things what felt very, yeah. I think traditional business has been very male energy. And so I wanted to see what would happen if I took a very feminine energy approach.
How have you handled, kind of the recognition, the fame of the business you've built? I think I don't know the actual stat, but you're like one of the only self-made billionaire women. I think that's like the line or something. You're one of the top 100 most influential people in the world by Time Magazine. How have you handled the exposure and the awareness and all the things that come to you?
I believe money just makes you more of who you already were. So if you were kind, you're going to be kinder. If you're a jerk, become a bigger jerk.
Right.
you know, insecure, you become more insecure. I see it as a magnifying glass, like, you know, money. So money didn't change me. It doesn't feel weird to me to, you know, for me, it was really about, I was so inspired to make a product that was going to make a difference and make people feel good. And especially women, I feel like the industry had stopped caring about how we felt in our clothing. And I was really, I wanted to take that angle of like, no, I do believe we can feel good and look good at the same time. My definition of greatness would be going for it no matter what, despite fear, and making the absolute most of the life that you were given, because it's not a dress rehearsal.